What is up, everybody? It's Hodgy Gaming here. I'm just testing out Twitch for the first time. I'm using it to record this video, so let's hope it goes smoothly. Today I'm going to be doing an MSF tier list. First time doing it. I did not plan where characters are going to go, so it's just going to be raw footage of my personal thoughts. This does not mean that I am right in any way whatsoever. This is just my opinion, so I just want to put that out there. Everyone's roster is different, right? I'm going to base this off my roster. I know for a fact other people have completely different rosters, different builds, different everything. Yeah, let's get it started here. I do think I kind of want to change this. Build now. Let's do tier 17 for that. Would be 17. Click. Okay, that's laggy as shit. Tier 16. I'm gonna add a row here. Add a row above. I've never used this before, guys. There, yeah, it did work. It just didn't register anything. And then we're gonna do tier 15. Okay. That's looking good there. Why is my computer going so slow? It shouldn't be. Combination. That's, we don't have to discuss it too much because he's, tier 17. You gotta build him up for APOC. Based on my roster and my plans, I'm going for big boy APOC. I know a lot of people will skip it. If you want to skip them, you don't need Abomination to gear tier 17, but in my opinion, Gamma is the best horseman team. They are the most useful, and I get a lot of use out of them pretty much everywhere. So I would highly recommend gear tier 17 for A-Bomb. Absorbing Man. What is Absorbing Man here? Let me go back to this. Go to my roster. Masters of Evil. Is he... What is he, Bio or Mystic? Mystic. Okay. I would keep him at gear tier 15. He's often replaced in Masters of Evil. If I'm going up against a tough team with Masters of Evil and Crucible, I'll usually put Dorm in place of him if I can. So yeah, I would keep him at tier 15. We've got Adam Warlock here. Also a Mystic. I'm torn here. You can go either way, gear tier 16 or gear tier 15, because Infinity Watch has stayed in the meta. I'm going to say you don't need to bring him to 16. I'm going to put him at 15 as well. Agatha, horseman character, gear tier 17 all day. Agent Venom, bio raid team. You got to do minimum gear tier 16. I might bring them to 17, but I'm doubtful. The AIM team, they're completely useless, but they're used for Scourge, for Archangel. I'm going to say Don't You Dare, because I think Ravagers are a better team that I could put here. So I'm just going to say this AIM minion team is a Don't You Dare, unless they're your Scourge team for Archangel. So like I said, it's based on my roster. Based on my roster, don't touch this team, please. If you have a use for them, that's fine. Build them up to level 75. Don't go any higher than that. Next up, we got Amadeus Cho. We're going gear tier 17 for this boy right here. America Chavez. She's niche. She's not really even needed for the Young Avenger team. I'm going to say don't build unless it's for fun. Anti-Venom. Sadly, because I love the symbiotes, man. Don't build unless it's for fun. So, Ant-Man. A lot of people are considering bringing Ant-Man and Black Widow for DD6 to tier 18. I personally am not doing that. However, and I'm not building this team either. I'm only building Spider-Man big time. I'm not building the Infestation team. But for people who aren't me, I would recommend Gear Tier 16. He's cheap, he's tech, it's a fresh rework, and he's about to be the top war defense meta. I would recommend Gear Tier 16 for sure. Apocalypse, build him now. Like, he's one of the best characters in the game. I'm sorry that these images got cut off, guys. I don't know what's happening here, but 100% build APOC to the max. Archangel, build him to the max, as high as you can go. Build now does not mean Gear Tier 18. It means Gear Tier 17 or higher, and prioritize these characters at all costs. So you want your ISOs, your T4s, all your gear, and stop where you feel comfortable. I have no plans to bring them to Gear Tier 18 yet, but I'm uncertain. There's a chance that I do, but I'm not planning to as of right now. Mordo, don't you dare. Beast, Astonishing X-Men has no uses anymore. We're gonna say don't build unless it's for fun. Beta Ray build, new character on the Bifrost team. He's a minimum Gear Tier 16, minimum. Bishop, same as Beast, don't build unless it's for fun. Black Bolt, same as well here. Okay, Black Panther. They're losing their value, but I would still say Gear Tier 16. If you haven't built them yet, I would say don't build them, but if you're close, it wouldn't hurt you. Same with Black Panther 1 million. Like, personally, my War Dogs is sitting at 1.1 mil here. Oh, 1 minute. So this team at 1.1 mil, it's getting me uses, but it's like a B tier team. Like in War, it's doing good, not great. In Crucible, it's doing good, not great. So it's up to you guys. There's 2 Mystics on this team, a Tech and 2 Skill. So you do have to waste Mystic gear. Gear Tier 15 isn't a bad option. Gear Tier 16 if you really want to build them. Black Widow, same as Ant-Man, we're going to go Gear Tier 16. She is very cheap for Dark Dimension 6. So if you're thinking for Dark Dimension 6, she is definitely an option. With a fresh rework, you could definitely do it. Blob, don't you dare. Just don't. Bucky Barnes, he's a raid character. All raid characters, without a question, are minimum Gear Tier 16, level 90. Minimum at this point. You gotta build them up there. Raid is the most important game mode in the game. Bullseye, don't you dare. Cable. Cable, I would say Gear Tier 15. He still has lots of uses. You just don't need to build him high for the stats. You only need him to exist. So I would say, like, I don't have mine built up. Mine's level 65. But Gear Tier 15 is a good, safe place for Cable. Captain America. He is another one that people are thinking about building to Gear Tier 18 for Dark Dimension. He is an amazing tank. Like, an amazing, amazing tank. One option, I'm not recommending this, but one option is you could bring the whole Reaver team into Global. Again, not recommending this, but definitely I would think about Captain America. I'm going to put him at Gear Tier 16, but he has the potential for 18 for Dark Dimension 6. Captain America World War II. Here, let me zoom out of this screen a little bit here. Captain America World War II, we're going to do Gear Tier 16. He is a raid character. Same with Sharon Carter, or Peggy, right? Yeah, Peggy. Captain Marvel. Personally, I did not build Ageless. I didn't touch him. I would say Gear Tier 15 is a safe place. I would not go any higher than Gear Tier 15. They are used for Scourge if you haven't fully started up Rogue. But if you haven't fully started up Rogue, I don't even think you're thinking about Gear Tier 15 and 16 that much. Yeah, I would say Gear Tier 15 is definitely safe. Carnage, don't build unless it's for fun. Cloak and Dagger. A lot of people are thinking about bringing Cloak and Dagger for Gear Tier 18 for DD6. I would not. I would wait for this new rumored Tech City team to come out. I don't know if that's confirmed, but I would wait it out. I really would. Take your time, guys. We are so far away. Don't spend the gear. Keep Cloak and Dagger at Gear Tier 16 for Crucible. They have slight raid uses still too until Bifrost is fully released, but don't build them up to Gear Tier 18. Their stats just aren't good enough. Like, I'm using them at Gear Tier 16, fully built, 6 red in DD5, and they are suffering. They're struggling bad with the full Gwen pool, Firestar. They're not doing it, and they will not do it in DD6. They will not maintain the stats. Their debuffs are amazing. Their cooldown's big. Please don't do it, guys. Colleen Wing, Gear Tier 15 for all heroes for hire except for Shang-Chi. If you really care about war defense, you could go higher. But personally, Gear Tier 15, that's max for me for heroes for hire. They're an old meta team. They still are very useful in war. Outside of war, they are garbage. So that's entirely up to you. If you got extra resources and want to strengthen your war defense, then go right ahead. Colossus, I'm gonna say not don't you dare. I'm gonna say don't build unless it's for fun. Sadly, he had uses in Age of X, and that's completely gone. Let's hope maybe he gets some uses in the future. Corvus Glaive. Black Order is a hot topic here. I'm gonna say Gear Tier 15 as a safety net. You don't want to waste teal gear on it. But if you want to give your opponents a tough time in war, Black Order is great for that. So Gear Tier 15, please no higher. Unless you're like an elite top player in this game. But if you're an elite top player in this game, you're likely not watching my content because I'm a new content creator. So Gear Tier 15 for Corvus Glaive for the general population. Cosmo is a definite Gear Tier 16. Nowhere is the new Apex War team. I am prioritizing Nowhere over Infestation. That's why I'm skipping Infestation. Just because every like 3 or 4 teams, you got to skip one team. Sadly, Infestation is it. They're going to be amazing on war defense, but they have so many war tags, I think they're going to be useless outside of war defense. Nowhere, however, I've been getting uses out of them in Crucible. They're used for the next legendary event, and I just think they're a fun team to use. So Cosmo Gear Tier 16 minimum. There's a chance that I'd take Cosmo to 17, but I'm not sure. I think what's the gear that Cosmo uses here? I think I'm not going to because of what Cosmo takes. Oh, I gotta go to this. Roster. Yeah, that's why. Augmented Astral Energy. I don't remember. I think it's for Icarus, Psylocke, Apocalypse. I don't remember who, but they're very important characters that we need that for. And I don't think it's going to tell me on here. I don't use the website much, so sorry if I'm missing a very clear opportunity to show you guys. But I think I'm keeping Cosmo at 16. I've got Cosmo at 15 for now, and then I'm just waiting for additional Astral Energy to take them to 16, but I'm not rushing it. Coulson, Just don't. I love Coulson, but don't. Crossbones, don't. Crystal, don't. Cull Obsidian, same as Corvus Glaive, gear tier 15. Cyclops, I'm going to say don't build unless it's for fun. Mutants are often a fun time, so a lot of them are going to be on don't build unless it's for fun. I do love mutants, and they're usually fun teams. So, Daredevil, very niche use in war, so I'm not going to say don't you dare. I'm going to say don't build it unless it's for fun. Unless you really like Daredevil, you want to use him in war, you want to have some fun in the game, that's the only time I would build him. Otherwise, if you're trying to be competitive in any way, shape, or form, do not touch him. Next up here, oh, and by the way, Daredevil's going to have some appearances in the very near future, so possible rework in the next year or two. Dark Beast, gear tier 17, 100%. Dazzler, gear tier 17, 100%. Doom. I took him to level 95, but you don't need to take him to gear tier 17. Keep him at gear tier 16 because he's Mystic, but level 95 is very useful. I have him on my arena defense specifically, and he is like, right now I think I'm ranked 4 in my arena, and I don't have a big boy APOC. And literally the only thing stopping me right now is big boy APOCs. Other than that, I am first place, like outside of big boy APOCs. I am first place in my arena tier. I am ahead of everybody else that has baby APOC. Just because Doom is on defense, what you want to do is you want to set it up so that you've got Doom in the right middle spot and Apocalypse in the left middle spot. So basically Red Hulk special is only gonna, or not only gonna hit, is gonna hit into either Doom and trigger him, or into Apocalypse, which destroys the attack 90% of the time. Because it's AI, it's gonna do it. On offense, like I can use the basic if I'm like hit with that, but when they're gonna mess it up. They're 100%. They're gonna mess it up. They're gonna push Doom or they're gonna push APOC, and it's gonna screw up their whole attack. And when you have Doom that big, it's lights out. I've got him at like I think 330k at gear tier 16. All I did was put levels into him. I would recommend that. I avoided it for a while, but I found use for it, and it's really going well. Deadpool is so long gone. I want to put him at the unless it's for fun, but you just can't. You really just can't. Don't you dare. This is gonna be an interesting hot topic. Bionic Avengers. If you're doing Incursion, don't touch them. They're done. Don't build unless it's for fun. It's really sad that they're that bad already, but don't build them if you haven't already. They will not help you. Deathpool is gear tier 17 for Apocalypse. Okay, Doc Ock. I feel like this is going to change in the very near future because I think he's going to be a tech raid team. But for now, it's got to be gear tier 15. But I think they're the next tech raid team, and that's going to be sick. It's going to be so cool having Doc Ock be in the meta again. I think he's a fan favorite for most people. Doctor Strange, just don't. Well, we can do don't build unless it's for fun because he's part of a good war team. Outside of war, they're garbage. But in war, they do have a niche use. So we'll do this team here, Dr. Voodoo. Yep, Elsa Bloodstone. Don't build unless it's for fun. I don't see the other ones here, but I'm sure they'll come up later in the line. Domino, just don't, please. Dormammu. Due to being Mystic, gear tier 16. You've got a new Mystic raid team that just came out. You cannot afford to put gear tier 17 on this guy, especially since he takes Miasma, I believe it's called, which is also shared by Deathpool and Hela. So gear tier 16 for now. Perhaps we could build him up higher in the future, but Dormammu does absolutely amazing at gear tier 16. Gear tier 17 doesn't really change anything in terms of stats, so if you're taking a character to 17 outside of Horseman, you gotta take him to 18. Like, it's like going to gear tier 17 is like going to gear tier 13. It does nothing. So keep him at 16. If you plan to bring him to Dark Dimension, build him to 18 in the future. Don't build him yet. You're not gonna get to Cosmic yet, so just don't. Unless you're a whale, but in that case, you're probably not watching my videos. If you are, comment and let me know so I can switch up my advice a little bit here. Next up, we've got Drax. Just don't. Please don't. Ebony Maw, just like before with the Black Order team, we're going to go tier 15. I'm going to say with all of Young Avenger, gear tier 15 could be gear tier 16. They're out of the meta now, so if you haven't built them yet, don't. Or if you are going to build them, go to 15, don't go to 16. You don't need to waste it. They'll do just fine at 15. They'll have uses. Electro, just don't. Electra, I guess she goes with Daredevil for the war niche. So build it if you want to have fun with it, or if you really like Electra as a character. I know a lot of people liked her in the Daredevil series on Netflix. I personally loved that show. So that's up to you. The don't build it unless it's for fun is not a recommendation to build. It's a have fun with the game. But the don't you dares, just please don't. Even if you want to have fun with the game, just don't. Please. Emma Frost. We are tight for Mutant Teal gear. I'm going to say gear tier 15. Just like Cable, you only need her to exist. You do not need her to have stats. Having stats almost does literally nothing because she's old meta. So even when you build her up, her stats are still too low and she's just getting taken out. You just need her to exist. Drop that speed. That's it. Falcon, we're going to do don't. Just don't. Oh, no. He has niche uses. Don't listen to me. Don't build unless it's for fun. If you want to have fun, or if you want to do it for a niche use, then yeah, you could build Falcon to gear tier 15. But I wouldn't go any higher than that. I'm going to zoom out just one more time here. Phantom X. We are going to gear tier 17 with his crappy ass, unfortunately. Firestar, gear tier 16, along with the entire new Warrior team. I'm going to say gear tier 16. They're used for Nova. They're used for Crucible. They have raid usage for now. You might as well, right? We've got Gambit. That's a no question. I don't have to explain why. Gear tier 17. Gamora. So Gamora, I would definitely put a gear tier 16. She's skill, so you're not thirsty for those gear materials. And Infinity Watch is hanging around. Like, they are useful. They are not they might be a top 10 team. Only because, so they would only be a top 10 team because of their uses everywhere. Well, I guess not everywhere, but let me rephrase. They're incredibly useful in War, and they're incredibly useful in Cosmic Crucible. They're not useful in raids, and they're not useful in Arena unless you're a lower, like early to mid game player. But their use in War and Crucible right now is just so good that it's worth it. It is worth bringing her to gear tier 16, and I would say same with Nebula here as well. I would take her to gear tier 16 as well. Infinity Watch has been surprising a lot of people. Ghost, don't you dare. Ghost Rider goes along with this team here. So don't build unless it's for fun. What's that team? Dark Hunters. I was going to say, what's the name of the team again? I never built them. I usually don't build war offense teams aside from Nowhere. I like to turtle. I built a lot of my war defense teams. So I did skip Dark Hunters. But I know a lot of people have a lot of fun with them. So if you want to have fun with them, go ahead. Okay, Web Warriors. This is going to be a hot topic here. I wouldn't take them to gear tier 15 if you haven't already. So for most of the player base, they're either at gear tier 15 or 16 already, or they're not built. If they're not built, don't build them. Don't build unless it's for fun. They're completely useless right now. They have no uses anywhere. So if you haven't already put the resources in them, please just don't. They're really not good. Graviton, don't you dare. Groot, don't you dare. Gwenpool. This is... You could take her to Gear Tier 16. I took her to Gear Tier 16. It would also make sense to keep her at Gear Tier 15 for the Mystic Gear. You know what, just for that, I'm going to advise Gear Tier 15 for Gwenpool. She works fine at Gear Tier 15. She's Mystic, so you got to be careful with how much of that gear you're using there. Hawkeye has niche uses, so don't build unless it's for fun. Hero Asgard, they used to be a Gear Tier 15 recommendation. I would not. I would say that they're in a middle point of Gear Tier 15 and don't build unless it's for fun. But they're being phased out more and more every day. I'm going to put them at don't build unless it's for fun. And especially no higher than Gear Tier 15. Hela, I'm going to say Gear Tier 15 for one reason. I'd love to take her up to Gear Tier 17 or 16. But like I said earlier with the miasma, Deathpool needs it, and Dormammu needs it. So, as good as Hela is, she's kind of third in line, unfortunately. If you have the gear, by all means, bring her up. But right now, as it stands, I myself have her stuck at Gear Tier 15. We've got Hulk going to Gear Tier 17 for APOC. Hulkbuster. Just like I said earlier, it's a hot topic. Some people might not agree with me, but don't build unless it's for fun. Human Torch, just don't. Hydra characters, unless it's for Archangel Scourge, don't. Please don't. Iceman, don't build unless it's for fun. So, for DD6, Icarus and Cersei. I'm not doing it personally, but it is a good idea to take them to Gear Tier 18. They are stat-based characters, and bringing them to Gear Tier 18 improves their stats tremendously. They are DD characters. They're still used in raids for now, Crucible, War, and even Arena for a lot of people. So Icarus and Cersei, I don't know if I'm doing it yet, but I will 100% give the nod to bring them up to Gear Tier 18 if I could just find Cersei. She's hiding from me. And remember, build now doesn't mean Gear Tier 18. It means maximize them to the best of your abilities and to whatever you're comfortable with. Whether that's Gear Tier 17, level 95, full ISOs, or Gear Tier 18. Invisible Woman. Yeah, don't. Just don't. Iron Fist. I would say Gear Tier 15 because they are still such a strong war team, but I would never go higher than Gear Tier 15. Iron Fist World War II, we're going to do Gear Tier 16, and he is another candidate for Gear Tier 18 as well for D6. He's fairly cheap and he's fairly useful, but he might be a bit too weak stat-wise. Ironheart, don't. Iron Man. I'm going to say Gear Tier 15 for him because he has uses in Scourge and he's part of that Wave 1 Avenger dynamic. So I would put him a little bit above the other Bionic Avengers, Gear Tier 15. Mighty Thor. Some of you are going to disagree with me, but don't build unless it's for fun. Hero Asgards are out of the meta. I'm undecided on A-Force. I'm going to stick with what I said for Captain Marvel. For A-Force, they have uses in quite a few different places. Gear Tier 15. If you want to. I'm not going to, but if you want to, Gear Tier 15. Jubilee, don't build unless it's for fun. Astonishing X-Men, no uses anymore, so why would you do it? Juggernaut, don't you dare. Here we go. We got Kang. Kang is a Gear Tier 18 character. Kang is a max out character. Max out everything on him. He has speed bar advantage on offense. He will be meta for years. Build him. Do it. You won't regret it, and he's tech, so he's cheap in terms of cost effectiveness or cost efficiency. Karnak, gear tier 18, obviously. I'm kidding, no. Don't you dare. God, no, don't you dare. Squirrel Girl, Jesus Christ. Kate Bishop, gear tier 15. Keep her there. I definitely wouldn't go any higher than gear tier 15. I have the opportunity to take her to 16. Am I going to do it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do not take her to gear tier 16. She shares a unique with Spider Weaver and who else was it? There's another useful character that she shares a unique with. Don't waste it on Kate Bishop. Killmonger has slight uses in War and Crucible. Don't build it unless it's for fun. Kingpin, I skipped Underworld, but gear tier 15 is a good spot for them. Kitty Pryde, don't build unless it's for fun. Korg, he's going to be part of my gear tier 16 recommendation with the other Nowhere characters. Remember, they're required for a legendary, and they're the new Apex War team. So it's no rush, but I would definitely invest in that team. Minion that snuck on here because I kept most of the minions off. Don't do it. Lady Deathstrike, gear tier 15. She is a war offense, not Apex, but meta character. So still has some uses. Gear tier 15 doesn't really hurt anybody. It's once you start getting to teal gear that you run into some issues. So gear tier 15, Lady Deathstrike. Loki is a definite gear tier 16 character, 100,000%. Part of the new Bifrost team. That whole team's getting the nod for gear tier 16. Vol is going to get the nod for 18 for sure. So while I'm mentioning Vol, let's just go grab her really quick. I probably already passed her. Oh, no, there they are. Gear tier 18 for Vol, guys. Scope, original character. Has the ability to revive 4 characters at once. Has the exposed mechanic. Has dark dimension tags, raid tags. Vol is absolutely fucking crazy. Build Vol, 100%. Go nuts on Vol. Loki team. We're going to be doing gear tier 16 again. Okay, Shatterstar. Shatterstar is to the point where don't build unless it's for fun. I know a lot of people have Shatterstar and Longshot higher up. Like a gear tier 15. Some at gear tier 16. I don't see a use for it. I would not do it. Don't waste the gear. Luke Cage, gear tier 15, only if you want. Again, it's in the middle of don't build and gear tier 15. They're a war team that's still pretty strong, so it's an option if you want to do it. Madeline Pryor. No, don't build unless it's for fun. Magic, same idea. Magneto, you gotta go to gear tier 17 because we want that big boy APOC. I don't even have to explain this one. I really don't. Don't build her. Maria Hill, old skill raid team, gear tier 15. Don't go any higher if you haven't already. There's no reason to. Honestly, you don't even need to build her at this point if you haven't already. M'Baku, we're going to say don't build unless it's for fun. Still has Crucible and War uses, but very niche, very unused. It's really no point. Alright, we've got some mercenaries here. We're going to put them under Don't You Dare. Absolutely not. Minerva. There was a time where she would have been gear tier 15 or 16. I have her at 15, but I'm going to say don't build her unless it's for fun. She doesn't have a team. She's stat crept. Her kit's great, but when you're that stat crept, it doesn't matter how good your kit is. So just don't, guys. Misty Knight, we're going to say gear tier 15 along with the rest of the Heroes for Hire team. Again, this might be a mistake. There might be a don't build unless it's for fun, but I'm going to put them there for today's video. Moondragon, gear tier 15. We're going to keep all of Infinity Watch gear tier 15 except for Gamora and Nebula to the 16. Moon Knight, part of Shadowlands. Don't build unless it's for fun. Moonstone, not Firestar, right? Moonstone. Masters of Evil. I get them mixed up. I'm gonna say Gear Tier 16. Wait, is she Mystic? They released two girls that look the exact same at the same time, and it's very frustrating. Yeah, I think there's a reason I haven't put this piece on her. Bio and oh, it's that. Oh, it's Bio. Yeah, I would go, honestly, I would go Gear Tier 16. I would do it for sure. I'm almost there. I'm just waiting on some gear. Morbius is part of the Dark Hunters team. We can go don't build unless it's for fun. MLF is Gear Tier 17. Possibly. We're uncertain. Most people are uncertain whether or not they want to bring the Legendary Horseman into that Legendary node where you're allowed Horsemen. A lot of people are thinking about just going with the 5 Legendaries for both categories there. We'll have to see how it plays out. I would take your time. Do not build Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Negative is a Gear Tier 15 character in my opinion. Again, I skipped that team, but I would say Gear Tier 15, maybe 16, but he's Mystic, so I wouldn't waste it on the 16. Sinister, don't build unless it's for fun. He has war uses, but fairly useless at this point. Miss Marvel, we're going to say Gear Tier 15 for the Young Avengers team. They have staying power, but they're falling way out of there. Multiple Man, don't build unless it's for fun. Mysterio, don't you dare. Mystique. I wouldn't even say she's worth it for fun. I'd say don't. Just, yeah. Nakia, Gear Tier 16. She is a skill character, so it's not really a waste. I would definitely say Gear Tier 16. She's really cheap. Namor is a niche character, and good in war, so I would say don't build unless it's for fun. I wouldn't recommend Gear Tier 15, but if you have extra resources, he's definitely got some uses. We've got Negasonic. We're going to say don't frickin' do it. Nemesis, we're going to take to Gear Tier 17 for the Apocalypse Saga. Nick Fury. Oh. I don't know if you guys will agree with me or not. Nick Fury is a 18 legendary character. You're going to need them for DD6. I don't think they're going to release legendary characters that fast where you're going to be able to go without them. Maybe I'll be wrong. You guys can take your time on this one. But he's a raid character. He's an amazing character. Here's his advertisement right now as we speak. I would use him for DD6. I would build him now. I've got him maxed out, level 95, as high as I can get him. And his unique is also not used that frequently, so that's good as well. Niku Minoru, I would say don't build unless it's for... Oh no, A-Force is going Tier 15. My apologies. Night Nurse, don't build unless it's for fun, part of that Shadowlands team. Nobu, we could say Gear Tier 15 for that, along with the rest of the Underworld team. Nova is going to Gear Tier 18, same reason as Nick Fury. He is used for DD6. Also, he's used for the next Legendary, and he's War Meta, and he can be good to replace US Agent in the bio nodes. Main word can be, not always. Especially if you have him built up, so he's got a fair amount of uses. I would definitely build him as soon as possible. Put everything you got into him. Okoye, we're going to say Gear Tier 16. She's vital to the War Dogs team. Omega Red. Mine is at Gear Tier 15, but I would say Gear Tier 16 for Omega Red. I wouldn't take the whole team to Gear Tier 16, but Omega Red is a good character with an amazing, amazing, amazing kit that has not been fully stat crept out yet. So I would say Gear Tier 16 is a safe spot for Omega Red. Phoenix, don't build unless it's for fun. Thylavel, just like the other Infinity Watch characters, we're going to go Gear Tier 15. Polaris, don't build unless it's for fun. Proxima, we're going to say gear tier 15 with the rest of the Black Order team because they are a nasty war defense team now. Psylocke, you're going to gear tier 17. We need you for Apocalypse. Do not build Punisher, please. Don't build Pyro. Don't build Quake. Our Ravager team here, we're going to put don't build unless it's for fun. You do need them for the Red Hulk Scourge and the Archangel Scourge, but Scourges are mostly over in terms of players needing those characters maxed. So if you haven't maxed out those 2 Horsemen yet, definitely build some Ravagers up to level 75. Otherwise, don't touch them, please. Just don't. Quicksilver, it's a waste of Mystic gear, but I would still do it gear tier 16. He's been wonderful for me. He's had many uses, and he can only get stronger as we build up the stars. Gear tier 16 for sure. Red Guardian is a niche use as a pre-taunt. I would say don't build unless it's for fun. Red Hulk, gear tier 17, to be determined to gear tier 18 because I friggin' love Red Hulk. Red Skull, however, don't. Rescue, don't. Rhino, don't. Rocket Raccoon, don't. Rogue, same as Red Hulk, gear tier 17, to be determined for gear tier 18. We'll see. Ronin, don't. I would say the Weapon X team is a safe gear tier 15 team, no matter what point in the game that you are. Safe gear tier 15. Cap-Sam, Cap-Sam has some decent uses, niche uses as well. And his skill. Gear tier 16 for Cap-Sam. He's got uses in DD6, in war with that speed bar manipulation. I would recommend gear tier 16 because he's skill. Scarlet Spider, don't build unless it's for fun. Web Warriors are absolute trash right now. Scarlet Witch, gear tier 17. For the Epoch, Scientist Supreme, no. Scream, don't build unless it's for fun. Shang-Chi, I would go to 16 and then full stop. Might be used for Dark Dimension 6, but I don't think I recommend that. His stats aren't big enough. I would stop at gear tier 16 and wait for new city characters. Sharon Carter is a gear tier 15, just like Maria Hill up there, wherever she's hiding. I thought I put her there, right? I'm so blind. I bet you she's right in front of my face and I'm just not seeing it. Did I put her at don't build? Okay, guys. How blind am I? I put her on here, right? I did. I remember. Is she get taken off? Or am I just absolutely blind? Right there. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, guys. Shatterstar. Don't build unless it's for fun. And I just realized now that I gave Longshot the wrong name earlier. Good job, Cody. She-Hulk, gear tier 17 for Apocalypse. Shield Medic, don't. Shocker, don't. Okay, Spider-Man Big Time. I have a feeling Spider-Man Big Time is going to be a gear tier 18 character. Nasty, nasty, nasty war meta and a city character that we could take into Dark Dimension 6. I bet you a lot of people take him to gear tier 18. I can almost guarantee it. Shuri, we're going to be looking at gear tier 16 along with the rest of the War Dogs team. Sif, don't build unless it's for fun. Silver Samurai, gear tier 15, just like the rest of the Weapon X team. Silver Surfer. I would say gear tier 15. You don't want to take him higher than that because you don't want to waste the Mystic gear, but gear tier 15 is a good spot for him. He still has some uses as a generalized plug-and-play character. Spider-Man 2099, we're going to go gear tier 16. Part of that Meta Tangled Web team that's still ongoing, so definitely wouldn't be a waste of your gear there. Spider-Man, don't build unless it's for fun. Spider-Man Noir. I'm going to say gear tier 15 is safe. You can go up to gear tier 15. I wouldn't go higher than that. Just, he's not useful. Spider Bunk is don't build unless it's for fun. Spider Weaver is unconfirmed for gear tier 18, but confirmed for gear tier 17. She's Mystic, so it's not a good farm to get her to 18. But you have to get her to 17 for Apocalypse. But I think she is going to stop at 17. Spider-Woman's going to be gear tier 15 with the rest of that A-Force team. Squirrel Girl as well, gear tier 15. I almost said Spider-Man Annihilation. Star-Lord Annihilation, I would go gear tier 16, 100%. A lot of people are considering him for gear tier 18 just because of how cheap he is and because he's skill. I don't think I'm going to do that. He's not a useful character on the Nowhere team, but we'll see how it goes. Star-Lord. I'm losing it, guys. I'm getting tired. Star-Lord is niche. We're going to do don't build unless it's for fun. We've got Stature. Don't do it. Storm. Don't do it unless it's for fun. Doctor Strange Heartless. You're going up to gear tier 17. Sunfire. You're doing the same, buddy. Okay, Strife is a don't build unless it's for fun. Super Skrull, if you can get Super Skrull, you build him now. You build him as high as you can absolutely get. I think Super Skrull might be better than Apocalypse. Hot take. Probably not, but Super Skrull is going to be a game-breaking character. Gear tier 18. Trust me. Swarm, we're looking at gear tier 16. Swarm is another possibility for DD6. I'm not going to do it personally, but it's definitely worth looking into for anyone who is interested in that. Kestrel is a gear tier 17, possibly 18 for Cosmic, but I'm doubtful. But definitely 17 for the APOC unlock. Sylvie is a gear tier 16. It's a Bifrost raid team. Sylvie's an amazing character. Spider-Man Symbiote, don't do it unless it's for fun. Taskmaster, gear tier 15 with the rest of the Underworld team. Star-Lord T'Challa is niche, so don't build it unless it's for fun or for a specified use and you have the resources for it. Thanos, gear tier 15, part of that Black Order team. You don't want to waste the Mystic Teal gear, so stop at gear tier 15 for them. Pardon me. The Thing, we're going to do Don't You Dare. Thor, I'm going to say gear tier 15 because, again, I'm not including the Hero Asgardian in that, but he is a Wave 1 Avenger, which is good for some Scourge. He's got additional tags where he could be useful in the future for other types of game modes and events. So gear tier 15 there. Thor Infinity War, however, we're going to do gear tier 16, part of that Nowhere team needed for that legendary unlock. Titania, gear tier 16 as well. She's a better character than people realize, I think, on that Masters of Evil team. And another thing people forget about her is she's a very fast character that can drop ability, block, and disrupt immediately. That is amazing for characters that taunt early. And I think people forget that. I use Titania off of the Masters of Evil team in certain scenarios because she's really useful for that. Toad, don't do it. Green Goblin, gear tier 15 with the Underworld team. Ultimus, don't do it. Ultron, I would say gear tier 16 for him. I've got him at gear tier 17 like a dummy because I love Ultron, but I wouldn't recommend taking him there. Gear tier 16 for him should be a safe spot. Remember, Masters of Evil is needed for Nova, so you do need to have them at a decent power. Spider-Man Miles, don't do it unless it's for fun. We've got Union Jack. We're going to say gear tier 16 because he's on the raid team. US Agent, as much as he fucking sucks, absolutely sucks, gear tier 16. Part of the Rebirth team. Rebirth is amazing in raids, decent in war, meta in Crucible currently, not for long. So definitely gear tier 16 there. Valkyrie, don't build unless it's for fun. Venom, don't build unless it's for fun. Vision, don't build unless it's for fun. Bionic Avengers, again, I gotta remind you guys, please don't do it. Just don't. They're useless now. They have almost no uses. I have mine at 1,000,000 power and I'm barely touching them. Vulture, don't. War Machine, don't. Wasp, no. White Tiger, Shadowland, so build it if it's fun for you. Winter Soldier, we're going to gear tier 16. Possibility of gear tier 18 for some people because he's cheaper and good for DD6 there with that crazy damage. That sounded like a gunshot. Wolverine, we're going to go to gear tier 15, part of that Weapon X War team. Wong is gear tier 17. We need you for Apocalypse, buddy. Weapon X, Jesus, X-23, don't do it. Yelena, don't. Yellow Jacket is a good gear tier 16 on that Infestation team. With that rework, he's pretty nasty, honestly. Yondu, part of the Ravagers team, don't build unless it's for fun. Like, you could do it for Scourge, but I wouldn't recommend it. Only build if you need him for something very specific. Yo-Yo, don't. Zemo's niche, so if you want to have fun with him, or if you can get use out of him, go ahead. Otherwise, don't build him. He's incredibly stat crept. And then you've got Zombie Iron Man. Zombie Iron Man is a good gear tier 16 character. If you have any stars on him and can afford it, he would be an amazing gear DD6 character. Making them attack each other is so insanely important in something like DD6 where their stats are that high. So if you can, and if it looks like the right move and you're not at 2 stars, you got like 4 or 5, do it. Bring him to gear tier 18, 100%. He could be insanely useful. Yeah, we've got this tier list done here, guys. Tell me what I did wrong, because I know there's going to be so many people that disagree with this. But let me know what else I got right as well. Let me know what I should change. I love hearing people's advice and opinions on things, what they're going to do with their roster, because remember, everybody experiences this game differently. Everybody builds their roster differently. My tier list is not somebody else's tier list. But I really hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Leave a like, share, subscribe. But otherwise, I am out, and you guys have a good day.
Secret side in plain sight.